Hi everyone, welcome to the History of Football channel. Tonight's video is going to be another video as part of my Forgotten Football Ground series. And tonight's video will be about the Stade Chaban-Delmas, which was the former home ground of Girodins de Bordeaux from 1938 to 2015. Please forgive me for my pronunciation of some of the words in this video. As you can tell, I'm not native to France, but I'm giving it my best go. So, Girodins de Bordeaux, it was their home ground between 1938 to 2015. The ground was initially built in 1930 as a cycling track, but it wasn't until the mid-1930s that the ground was redeveloped and reconfigured for the upcoming 1938 World Cup finals, which were being staged in France. The ground was officially opened during the 1938 World Cup finals in France, and the first match to be played there was on the 12th of June 1938. It was a World Cup quarter-final match between Brazil and Czechoslovakia. These two sides drew, and then there was a game 2 days later which Brazil won. And then the ground also staged another further match, which was the third place playoff between Brazil and Sweden, which Brazil won 4-2. When the Chaban-Delmas was first built, people who built the ground claimed that it was the first stadium to have no pillars which obstructed view. So the stands were held together by no pillars. As you can tell with a lot of the old grounds, there used to be pillars or beams that used to obstruct certain parts of the ground, or if you were sat in a certain seat, you couldn't see the full game. So this was the first ground that claims to have had no pillars obstructing the view. It also was a ground that claimed to have one of the longest tunnels which connected the ground to the changing rooms. One measurement coming at 120 metres there was between the touch side and the locker room, so quite a bit of a walk to get back to the locker rooms at the Chaban-Delmas. The official capacity at the time of Bordeaux leaving the ground was 34,694 people, but the attendance record for a football match came in 1985 when Bordeaux played against Juventus in a European Cup match, and 40,200 people attended that game. Juventus won that match 3-0. The Chaban-Delmas stayed pretty much the same throughout its history for the first 50 years. It wasn't until 1987 that it had its first major renovation, when the cycle track was removed and the seats and the stands were brought closer to the pitch. The ground also received some renovations in the 1990s ahead of the 1998 World Cup, where the Chaban-Delmas hosted 5 matches, including one of the knockout matches in the last 16. The ground also hosted the 1996 UEFA Cup final. It hosted matches at the 1954 and 1975 Rugby League World Cup finals, and it also hosted matches from the 1999 and 2000 Rugby Union World Cup finals, which were played in France. Up until the year 2000, the ground was officially called the Parc Lescure. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it was only changed to the Chaban-Delmas in honour of Jacques Chaban-Delmas, who was the mayor of Bordeaux from 1947 to 1995. And he was also the French Prime Minister as well at one stage. So after 2000, the ground was named in his honour, but before that it was known as the Parc Lescure. The ground continued to host football matches up until 2015. Talks had already begun around 2011 that Bordeaux would be looking to leave the ground and build a new stadium somewhere else in the city, and that came to fruition in 2015 when the new stadium, the Matmut Atlantic, was constructed, and Bordeaux moved into that in 2015 ahead of the Euro 2016 finals, which were happening in France. The final ever game to happen at the Chaban-Delmas in terms of football was in 2015, and it was the Derby de Atlantique, which saw Girodins de Bordeaux up against FC Nantes, and this is one of the biggest rivalries in France. The match finished 2-1 in favour of Bordeaux, and both of those goals came courtesy of Diego Roland. Bordeaux had a lot of history and a lot of success at this ground. They won pretty much all their trophies at the Chaban-Delmas. 6 Ligue 1 titles. They won a few Coupe de France as well, based at the ground, and also a couple of Coupe de la Ligues. They haven't won a trophy since they've been to the Matmut Atlantic, and they've been plagued by some financial problems off the field and some other issues. But it's a ground that I guess every Bordeaux fan out there would remember very fondly. The ground is still used today from 2011. Union Bordeaux, which is a rugby union side, they've been playing at the ground and they still continue to play at the ground to this very day. So it's good to see that the ground hasn't been demolished and it's still being used for another purpose, although football is no longer played there. So anyway, that concludes my video tonight on the Chaban-Delmas, the former home ground of Girodins de Bordeaux. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I apologise for any French listeners watching if I got the pronunciation of the ground or some other names incorrect. But I tried my best. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you have any more suggestions for some forgotten football grounds that I could do, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be doing another video very, very shortly. Perhaps an Everton video, perhaps another Premier League video. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch us all later. Goodbye for now.